Hello, I'm Karen Ellenwood. I'm the director of the Diman Regional School of Practical Nursing. Thank you for looking in on this video. I hope this gives you some relevant information to help you make your decision about attending nursing school. As I said, welcome. This is a video of one of our information sessions. Who are we? Well, Diman is the longest continuous running nursing program in the greater Fall River area. We began accepting students in September of 1959, and we have consistently graduated between 20 and 90 students a year since that day. Where do LPNs practice? Well, we practice in a variety of settings. Every place from long-term care, which commonly are called nursing homes, schools, doctors' offices, correctional institutions, long-term care, assisted living, you name it, and we're there. Anywhere there's a need for patients to have hands-on care and receive education regarding healthcare practices, you're going to find LPNs. What are our admission criteria? Well, our main admission criteria is that you have either a high school diploma or you've attained a high school equivalency certification. Some college, of course, is always good, but having a college background is not necessary for success in our program. We also use the TEAS test, which is the test of essential academic skills. That test is a nationally recognized test that's used by many health programs throughout the country. We have a specific set of scores that you need to attain to be accepted into our program. Good moral character. The state of Massachusetts requires that all candidates and applicants be aware that a criminal background check will be run on every applicant to sit for the nursing exam. If you have any history of criminal activity, even something as minor as a traffic infraction, you need to talk to the Board of Nursing to find out whether or not your history will be a roadblock to you attaining a nursing license. It's important that you start clearing up your record at this time. Now, for many of you, this is irrelevant. You have clean records, and you are the people, of course, that we don't worry about. But many of us in our younger years do make a little bit of trouble, and sometimes it comes back to haunt us. And that's what the Corey checker is about, is the criminal background check. Physical examination is something that will happen once you're accepted into our program. We have medical documentation that must be completed that includes vaccination history, a dental exam, eye exam, and just the general physical exam that your physician will perform that says that you're in good enough physical condition to perform the rigorous duties of a practical nurse. Acceptable drug screen. We are required by our clinical partners here in the community to run a criminal level drug screen. It's called a 10-panel drug screen. That 10-panel drug screen is a comprehensive drug screen, and the results are not shared with the clinical agencies. All they're told is whether or not our candidates have a clean drug history. If it is found that you need some counseling on that issue after the drug screen, it's going to be up to your physician to do so. What are our current training options? Every September or the end of August, we begin our full-time day program. We also, on alternating years, have a part-time evening program and a part-time day program. The next full-time day program will begin in August of 2016. Our next part-time day program will begin in August of 2017, and our next part-time evening program will begin in August of 2016. When we talk about our full-time day program, we're talking about a 10-month program. It includes 1,106 hours of training. That's both theory training and clinical training. It runs on a Monday through Friday schedule, much like your average public school. Some evenings will be required for specific activities, and you will be told of those well in advance. You are expected to make yourself available to participate and attend those activities. The usual hours for classes are theory classes from 7:45 in the morning till 2:28 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. Clinical training hours vary depending on the clinical site and the clinical activity. They can start as early as 6 a.m. and are usually done no later than 3:30 p.m. When will this begin? Again, in August of 2016. Our part-time evening program also is 1,106 hours, but this runs over 20 months. If we were going to break it down into a weekly breakdown, it would be 80 to 85 weeks, depending which option you choose. Monday through Thursday evening schedule is followed. Some days may be required, and although this says maybe, I have to tell you that some days will be required in the final term of our program because family-centered clinical activities are not available in the evening. The usual hours are 12:30 in the afternoon till 8 p.m. for theory. This is a change that begins in August of 2016. Clinical training hours will vary from 3 p.m. till about 9:30 or 10 o'clock on clinical training days. Again, this option begins in August of 2016. Our part-time day program also runs over 80 or 85 weeks, depending on the option you choose, for 1,106 hours. It's a Monday through Friday schedule. Some evenings may be required, and the usual hours are theory classes from 7:45 till about 2:30 in the afternoon. Clinical training will vary depending on the clinical site and activity from 6 a.m. in the morning till about 3:30 in the afternoon. This option begins in August of 2017. Tuition rates for 15-16 are as follows. In-district students are those students who live in Fall River, Somerset, Swansea, or Westport. The current tuition rate for those students is $9,800. Our out-of-district students are any students who do not live in those four communities but live in the Massachusetts area. If they live in Massachusetts, their tuition rate is $16,200. If they are an out-of-state student, the tuition rate is $17,600. Residency requirements are set depending on what address we send your admission letter to. So once you are admitted into our program and accepted, that is the tuition rate you will pay. New tuition rates will be announced sometime early in 2016, usually by March. Preparation for admission. Well, we do offer something called the TEAS Prep course, and information about that is found on our website with the 4 session dates, 2 in the fall and 2 in the early winter, along with the registration form. Please call the office if you want more information. The cost for the TEAS Prep course is $190, and that includes the required book. If you don't want to take the TEAS Prep course, you can purchase the review book for the TEAS Test version 5 here at Diman for $60. You should be working on developing basic computer skills. And by basic computer skills, we mean the ability to generate a document using a single or simple program such as Microsoft Word. All of our documents, all of our worksheets are Microsoft compatible here at Diman. You need to be able to create documents, cut and paste, and attach documents to email. You should be able to easily access email, turn a computer on and off, and utilize a mouse to navigate your way around various programs. We suggest that you begin reading newspapers and magazines, and I'm talking about the real paper kind that have good editing and use good language and good vocabulary. Reading just articles on the internet does not increase your ability to critically read. You need to begin by reading articles that are of interest to you, and also articles that stretch your brain a little bit. If you come across a word that you don't understand, write the word down and look it up, either at the time you're reading or once you've finished the article. This is going to help build your critical reading skills and your vocabulary. Plan to cut back on your work hours if you're coming into our program. we suggest that students not work more than 16 to 24 hours per week. The program that you're entering is very rigorous and demands a lot of time for study and preparation. If you're working full-time, you're going to find yourself falling behind in your schoolwork and not being able to meet the standard. If you can't meet our educational standards, you will be dismissed from the program. We think now is a good time for you to organize your life, and that means different things to different people. For some people, it means cleaning out the garage and the basement so they don't have to deal with clutter. For other people, it means paying down bills and cutting their living expenses so that they can afford to work less hours. It may be that you need to organize yourself so that you live a little closer to school, or make plans for childcare for your children. If you have family responsibilities, you may need to line up people to help you with those. That's what we mean by organize your life. You need to set up support networks of people, and it's important to remember that school can be stressful, especially when you haven't been a student for a long time. You're going to need help. You're going to need someone that you can call to go have a cup of coffee. You're going to need someone that you can call when your children are sick and you need someone to stay with them so that you can attend school. We are a clock-hour program, so it's required that we track all the hours that you're here, and you have to make up any hours. Although we have a mechanism for that, repeated absences and tardies will affect your ability to meet the standards. If you can't meet the standards, you will be dismissed. We ask that you think about how you live your life. If you don't have any outlets for stress, now might be a good time to help develop them. So beginning or continuing healthy behaviors. Things like, if you're planning to stop smoking, now might be the time. Don't say, once I start school, I'm going to start smoking, because the stress of school is going to make it difficult to change that type of a habit. Maybe you always wanted to spend time walking each day to let off a little stress. Now would be a good time to get into that habit. Include your children and your family. This might end up being a way for you to stay connected to them once you meet the rigors of school. TEAS prep classes for the fall of 2015. The time they begin will be about 5:30 on the evening scheduled, and you will usually be done by about 7. Monday in the past has been English Language Arts, Tuesday Reading, Wednesday Math, and Thursday Science. This schedule, of course, is subject to change depending on classroom availability, but as of right now, that is our plan. To register for this program, the registration form again is on the Diman Practical Nursing website. Download the registration form, fill it out, and bring it into Mrs. LaPree here in the Practical Nurse Building. Payment is required at the time of registration, and when you register, she will give you the preparation book so that you can begin reviewing. The TEAS prep class dates for the 15-16 school year. The first session begins on September 21st and runs until October 15th. The second session begins on October 26th and runs until November 19th. The third session, January 4th until January 28th, and our last session for the TEAS prep classes will run from February 29th to March 24th. The classes are held in the main high school. Each class meeting begins at 5:30 and will meet as scheduled. Candidates for admission to the Practical Nurse program are required to submit the following: a completed application and computer-generated essay, along with a non-refundable $25 application fee, your official high school transcript or official GED score sheet. If you have a foreign diploma from another country, it must be evaluated by an agency, such as CED. You will contact Mrs. LaPree and she will give you the brochure and the contact information for that agency. This agency will evaluate and translate your transcripts and give us the equivalent to what your education is in the United States. An average of C or better is required on high school scores. Work experience is in healthcare is preferred but not required. Many of our students do not have any healthcare experience when they come into our program, and they quickly catch up with those who don't. Proof of residency for tuition verification. Mrs. LaPree will talk to you about that, but your driver's license, a lease, bills that you pay are acceptable forms of verification of residency. The TEAS test standards. Once you've submitted your application to our school and you've signed up and registered for the TEAS test, it requires a prepaid registration form that again is on the website that you submit to Mrs. LaPree to hold your seat for the testing date. Once you've done that and you've taken the TEAS test, the scores that we're going for are reading with a 69% or higher, math 60% or higher, science 41% or higher, and English 60% or higher. Your TEAS test info. The test dates for the TEAS test are posted on the Diman website along with the registration form. Students must submit the registration form with payment to reserve a seat for the test. Remember, there are no walk-ins allowed for the test sessions. Cost to take the TEAS test here at Diman this year is $65. That is an increase due to the fact that the test has increased in cost from the vendor. Each time you retake the TEAS test, it will cost you $65. Again, must be prepaid. Completed application form and paid application fee is required to participate in the TEAS test here at Diman. In order to take the TEAS test, you need to register on the ATI site. And again, our Diman website, if you go into the LPN Overview tab, has a link to the ATI testing site. To register on ATI, you must set up an account, and it's pretty easy to do. You'll click on the Set Up Account tab. From there, give the information, your name, your address, your gender, what schools you're interested in. You will also click off that you accept the terms of the agreement for the account. Once you do that, you don't have to send them any money. You don't have to set up and register for a specific test. You're only setting up an account. Once you leave that screen, go back to the home page, click on My Account, and sign in with your password and username which you created during the registration process. Please write down your username and your password so you don't forget it. You're going to need it at various times. You're going to need it when you want to open up your test results. You're not going to be able to view them without that material. Once you've created that site, go back into your account and print up the paper and pencil ID. If you need further help with this, please call Mrs. LaPree. She'll be happy to walk you through the steps. On test day, you need to bring a couple pencils with you and an eraser. You need to leave your cell phone, your purse, and any electronic devices in your car. No food or drink is allowed in the testing area. When you come in for the test, you need your ATI paper and pencil ID number printed up, a computer-generated copy printed up from the website, and a form of government-issued identification. A driver's license or a passport is required. This is what it looks like, and I know it's kind of dark, but it is essentially just your entry ticket to the test. Transfer credits. For those of you who come to us with college credits, we do allow some courses to be transferred. Your college courses must be from an accredited, state-regulated university or community college. We accept anatomy and physiology credits, but you must have completed the entire course. Most schools teach anatomy and physiology in 2 sections, so must Both must be completed. They must be 3 years old or less, and you must have gotten a C or better as a grade, and that is a solid C. C- is not transferable. We also accept general psychology and developmental psychology. Depending on the schools that you attend, it may be called child development, it may be called development over the lifespan, but both of those psychologies, general and the developmental psych, are necessary to transfer the credit for use as our growth, development, and behavior course. The last course that's transferable is nutrition, and it needs to be a basic human nutrition course. That is transferable for our nutrition course. If you are transferring a course in, you should include your official transcript from the school. You should include a copy of the course description, and if possible, a copy of the syllabus from the school. There is a $50 fee for each course evaluated, and that $50 fee is $50 for the course you are transferring into. So 2 halves of A and P, there's a $50 fee. For the Diman High School students out there who are coming to us, if you took advanced placement, anatomy and physiology over junior and senior year, and you achieved a score of 75 in that course here at Diman, you are allowed to transfer that in for the anatomy and physiology at no fee. We also charge in-district rates to all Diman High School students who still live in the area, and we also encourage the Diman High School students, even if they're seniors, to participate in the TEAS prep course. If you're interested in participating in the TEAS prep course, please contact me and I will give you the details. Jumpstart 2016. Some of you have heard about our Jumpstart program. Our Jumpstart program is a program we established 5 years ago to encourage students to take some of the required courses early, prior to coming into the program. This lightens the course load for people and lowers some of their stress. We've had students tell us that they enjoy taking the classes in the summer. Jumpstart will run from July 5th, 2016 to August 5th, 2016, a 5-week period. We encourage people to take at least one course. The courses that we are planning to offer are anatomy and physiology, nutrition, and growth, development, and behavior. Again, once spring comes around, the enrollment course for the summer Jumpstart program will be online, and any questions you have can be answered here at Diman. Financial aid. All students are encouraged to apply for financial aid through the FAFSA website, and that's FAFSA website. Most of our students do get some form of financial aid, and we are lucky enough to have a financial aid coordinator here. Mrs. Michelle Latenda is our financial aid coordinator. She is a part-time employee. She has a web address and she has a telephone number here. So please call Diman with any questions. At this point, if this was a live informational session, I would answer any questions you have. But for all of you watching this video, please call the school if you have any questions, and we'll try to help you as best we can. We also plan to have live information sessions, which run on much the same format as this, 5 times during the course of the year. Please check the Diman website for dates. They are advertised there. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you here at Diman.